Story 1. Of course, I love myself. However, I would rather date someone else. It helps me grow. Having another person with a different set of experiences, values, and opinions who also wants to work together with me towards common goals is great. I would not pass on the chance to date myself. Story 2. If I were a cute woman, why not? I have everything in common with myself. At the same time, it is cool having different interests, but I still would. Story 3. No. I am a shy, introverted person. I prefer a more extroverted person than I am for a partner. Story 4. Yes, I would. I am hardworking and family-oriented. I am also fun and easygoing. I like to cook and stay active. I am getting older and not as attractive as before. Story 5. Well, yes, I would. I consider myself a beautiful person inside and out, especially when it comes to maintaining relationships with people, particularly with myself, a person I understand very well. Story 6. I've been single long enough that technically I suppose I am not too bad. I would rather date myself than what is available out there at my age. Story 7. Probably briefly. I'm a lot of fun and laid back, but I don't feel like I really put my whole heart into relationships. I am faithful and sad when relationships end, but not as sad as I should be. Story 8. No. I'm not my type, firstly. Too much beard. Second, why would I want an entirely new person who thinks as little of me as I do? Story 9. Oh my God, yes. I love myself. I know I have my issues, but so does everyone else in the world. I would treat myself like a princess. I would give myself a shoulder to cry on as I dry my tears. I would give myself the world because I know I deserve it. Even if I felt I was not good enough for me, I would work on myself to become the best version of me, just for me. This is currently what I am trying to do now. I deserve the best, so I need to be my best. Story 10. To be honest, I would love to. Here are my reasons. I am a person who really gives my all when it comes to things, especially love. I speak my heart out, I deeply care, and I have done my fair share of working on myself. Even though there is room for improvement, I enjoy solo dates. They are very good. If you had asked me this question months ago, I would have been confused, but now I see more clearly and know myself better. I am glad that you asked this question. Story 11. No. After 2 failed marriages and a lot of self-reflection, I did the female population of the world a favor and took myself out of circulation. When I can learn not to be a selfish, jealous, self-centered, insecure man-child, maybe I will date again, but I am not there yet. Story 12. I am very nice, but I can be insufferable. I am sarcastic and informal to the point that I am basically a hobo, and I am socially awkward. There is no way I would date myself. Story 13. Yes, but preferably a healed version of myself. Someone who would be patient with me after all I have been through with post-traumatic stress disorder and genophobia. Story 14. I would because I know my heart. I am not perfect, but I love deeply, work hard, and have a kind heart. Story 15. Running on the assumption that it's me but gender swapped. Physically, no. I am currently still overweight, and after years of self-loathing, I simply cannot find overweight people attractive. Chubby is fine, but anything more needs to suit them well. I am not going around hating overweight women, but attraction is completely absent for me. Personality-wise, definitely. I am chill, and my friends have stuck with me for over a decade. So either this is the longest con ever or I am at least tolerable. I would love someone with the same or similar hobbies and a desire to go somewhere only very rarely. Story 16. No, I am difficult. Moody. I want to be alone. I am not very spontaneous, and I do not clean up after myself. There are more red flags than at a parade. Story 17. No way. I am clingy and jealous. I get mad at myself for liking my own Instagram posts. I fart like it is a competitive sport, and my hygiene routine is almost non-existent. I overthink everything except showering, which I often forget. I emotionally shut down the second I am asked, "What is wrong?" Story 18. Me 5 years ago, yes. Me now? No. I need to work on the damage that has been done over those years. Feels like I have a wound I cannot heal. Story 19. Yes, because with two incomes, I could afford healthcare for one of us, and the other could be spare parts. Story 20. No, I would not date myself. We would move in together immediately instead. We know what we like, what we want, what we need, and what we can do. We understand ourselves. Story 21. No sex, but someone to smoke cannabis with, jam with, and share our ideas and agree on everything? Sign me up. Story 22. I think I would. In fact, I am looking for someone similar to me. I like this type of personality, the way I treat people, and how I deal with problems. I also think I am quite interesting to talk to and reliable, so why not? Story 23. I would give it a try, for sure. We would be polite, respect each other's boundaries, and play games together. However, our lack of initiative and aversion to conflict would probably cause serious issues in the future. Story 24. Not at all. I do not meet my own standards for perfection or being good enough. If I am not good enough for myself, I am not good enough for anyone. Story 25. Romantic, passionate, charming, respectful, kind, strong with a soft side, protective, funny, witty, chivalrous, honest, loyal, emotionally mature, confident, and more. I am impressive. Story 26. I regularly take myself out and care for myself. I fully support myself and take care of myself when I am sick. I already date myself. Story 27. Am I the only one who can genuinely say yes? I have been living by myself for 6 months now, and learning to love myself has been quite an adventure. I like my humor and make myself laugh all the time. I am kind to everyone, from family to friends to strangers. I have many healthy habits and hobbies. I clean up after myself. I do not know how to cook well, but I have not starved yet. I am honest and loyal and love to please my partner. I have issues I am working on, but I have worked hard to get to where I am today. I spent many years trying to stop hating myself, and I am relieved to say I have reached the point where I might actually love myself. So yes, I would date me. I hope all of you figure out how to become who you want to be, or if you already are that person, accept and be proud of yourselves. You are doing just fine. Story 28. I would love to. It is not as if I did not have issues with self-esteem, but I still think I would enjoy my own company, doing sports together, and intimacy. Story 29. Sometimes I look in the mirror and think, yeah, I would date me. But then I realize that is my only option, so I do date me. I date me so hard. Story 30. No, I would not date married men. But to answer your question, absolutely. How could I expect my wife to like me if I was not dateable? Story 31. No. 1. I am married and I do not date married people. 2. I am a mess. There is no way I could deal with myself. Story 32. Yes, I would definitely date the opposite gender version of me, but I would love them to be a little more cheerful since I have a resting bitch face almost all the time. Story 33. Interesting question. We would have little to talk about. It would be like we had the same thoughts. We would be on the same page with sex drive. We would not agree on who gives versus who receives. We would get tired of the other person never doing enough chores. We would finally find someone willing to put in an equal level of effort and an equal financial contribution. Dinner would be easy. I will have what they are having. The home improvements would be amazing and half the work they are now. But yes, the whole who gives, who receives issue would be a deal breaker. Story 34. I feel my girlfriend is very similar to me, and we have been going strong for the past 7 months. She has some differences, but I think I could imagine dating myself. Story 35. No, if I ever meet a clone of myself that has my memories and personality, I will strangle that thing immediately. Story 36. This is a bit of a paradox for me. On one hand, I would not advise anyone to date me because I do not have the emotional capacity or social energy to care about someone that way for extended periods of time. On the other hand, someone as low energy as myself would be ideal because we could interact a bit every day and then promptly go do our own thing in our respective corners of the house without causing offense or hurt feelings. Story 37. That is difficult to answer. Would I literally date myself? No. I am not my type and I am straight. So, let us assume we take my entire personality and pour it into a woman I find attractive. You would have a quiet girl who turns out to be crazy once you get to know her better. She has dark humor, likes to make you laugh, loves to spend time with you, adores cuddling, is quite the nerd, has many interesting hobbies, can cook decent meals, and has a good taste in old school music. Yes, I would date her. Story 38. Oh, hell yes. I am totally into feminine women, but give me a sexy tomboy who can clean up and I am on my way. Gee, I would date me in a millisecond. Story 39. We are in a constant relationship with ourselves mentally and physically all the time until we die. It is why we have to diet, exercise, take mental vacations, relax, and treat ourselves to a movie or a nice dinner. If we do not love and respect ourselves, then it is nearly impossible to love someone else meaningfully. Love yourselves, people. Story 40. People find me really annoying, so I would say no. However, I do not get annoyed easily, so it is a difficult decision. I will probably say no though. Story 41. No, I think I have some subconscious self-loathing or something. When I am angry or disappointed with myself, I say the most surprising things about myself to myself. Story 42. Personally, no. I am a hypocritical bag of contradictions with a lot of self-loathing and self-actualization. Story 43. An alcoholic, unemployed, overweight, maniac, and pervert, 32-year-old man. I would call the police on myself if I met me. Story 44. I would because I am a very supportive person. Even when there is nothing for me to support you with, I still find ways to do it. I will always do things that you like, even if I do not enjoy doing them, and I never say anything about not liking it because I just want you to be happy. Story 45. If the other me were a woman, then yes, probably. I think I am pretty great and I could double my disposable income. Story 46. If I were not myself, yes, because I am a goddamn delight. But because I am me, I would not date myself because it would get boring. Story 47. If I would just sit still sometimes, yes. But that is the deal breaker. There cannot be two of us bumping into each other all day. Story 48. Well, this is open-ended. Is it the opposite sex to me but still me? Like, does this entity have all my hopes, dreams, and trauma but a great figure? Does it know how to work the shaft like I know myself? That's the big one. Nobody knows you like yourself, so are they going to know the best way to stroke it, etc.? Because if so, yeah, probably I'm in. Story 49. Is this not another way of asking someone if they find themselves attractive, not only in the physical sense? Story 50. Probably not for a few reasons. I don't like to date, so I know my other self wouldn't want to date either. Plus, I'm a huge narcissist and could probably add misogynist to the list as well. I just like hookups and sex. Once I'm done, I leave or politely tell them that they can't spend the night and have to leave. So yeah, I would warn everyone from dating me or getting involved with me. Story 51. Absolutely not. I am incredibly self-centered, impulsive, rude, and sensitive. When I feel comfortable enough, I can be harsh to people. I am a difficult person to be around. Story 52. Yes, but it would not work out that long because we would be the same person, and there would be no growth then. Story 53. Absolutely. I'm the coolest person I know. One time a friend was going to ask me, if you could make a clone of yourself, what would you do with it? But only managed to ask, if you could make a clone. And I said, of myself, I would befriend it. Story 54. Yes, same taste in music, humor, TV shows, food, and games. I would be my own best friend. Sounds great. We would be a double income, no kids household and annoy very religious people. Sounds like a win all around. Story 55. I would obviously date myself. I do not drink, I do not smoke, and I do not use drugs. I am very ambitious and optimistic, treat people with respect, make memes, can cook, look above average, and have a full beard. Story 56. Definitely. I am learning to give the love I gave to another, to myself, and it has been a wonderful journey. I really look after myself now and care deeply about myself. I am dating myself, and we are very happy. Story 57. Right now, I can't find a job, and I'm trying, mostly failing, to fill my time learning skills online to make myself marketable. The times I have been employed and involved with my community, I am still incapable of creating any lasting relationships. I have no connections, and the people who met me would probably say something negative about me, if anything at all. I am extremely depressed and have a lot of unresolved trauma. I can't even make a regular decision in group settings because I don't want to be looked at negatively for the choice I made. I also take every opportunity to separate myself from others. Even if none of the above was an issue, I am extremely unattractive. I have been laughed at. I have a lot of makeup, but nothing can hide my jutting underbite and giant mole. Instead of accentuating any features, I look like a mugshot photo for a clown. So no, I wouldn't date myself. Story 58. No. I am fairly grumpy and do not like most people. My wife is an angel for putting up with me for 20 years. Story 59. Most of what I have done sexually has been by myself. Most of what I have done emotionally is by myself. Quite frankly, I think I have done a good job. Story 60. Yes, because I am a huge narcissist. In all honesty, I am pansexual and I like to think that I am my own type. For all those who struggle looking in the mirror and liking what they see, you are not ugly. You are just not your type. Have a good day. Story 61. Hell yeah. I got to date my personality mirror in my early 20s. This woman was literally just me in a pretty female shell. The first woman I ever loved. The first woman to change me without even actively trying. She was amazing. We broke up because I was insecure at the time and projected that onto her unfairly. I'm the most interesting person I know. I think I'm attractive, and I love myself more than anybody. Story 62. Yes, because I have lived multiple times and know a decent-looking person with a sensual aura. The bonus is a large package and exotic features. Story 63. No. I like salsa. Salsa is great, but it really needs some chips. If I were a bag of chips, it would be fine. 2 bags of chips are great. Chips and salsa are great. But 2 bowls of salsa with no chips is sad and disappointing. Story 64. Too much baggage. I mean, the baggage is already too much for me. No way, I am putting it on someone else. Story 65. Ignoring gender and preference for a moment and just going by my pros and cons. Pros. I have a good stable job with a salary of $150,000, working from home. I own a home and a paid-off car. I have savings. I am kind, funny, compassionate, and caring. I am easygoing and slow to anger. I have a stable family life with people I love and care for. I have a number of very close friends I spend time with. I might not be particularly attractive, but I am not particularly unattractive. I am awesome, and I surround myself with awesome people. Cons. I am married, and that is a deal breaker. Story 66. Yes, but it would be one of those volatile on and off again types. Why? I like myself and know I would treat myself right, even when I annoyed myself. Story 67. Yes. I am good company. I am always willing to do whatever I want to do. I have enough income and resources. If I were dating myself, together we would have enough resources to not work and accomplish all the projects we have been wanting to do. Story 68. I would date myself. I would marry myself honestly. I am loyal, honest, hardworking, devoted, loving, good in intimacy, and pretty much the whole package. My only downside is that I smoke a lot of cannabis. Story 69. Hell yeah. I am confident and passionate. It makes me sad how many people are not confident in themselves. Story 70. If I were a woman, I would date myself. However, I would also drop a few hints about how I could improve my physical fitness, advance in my career, and spend my weekends more productively. Story 71. Yes, 100%. If offered a chance to date a female version of myself, I would agree immediately. First, out of curiosity. I often wonder how the female equivalent of me, in terms of beauty, fitness, and character, would look. Second, because I actually seek in others the interests that I have. A partner who is a full match would be ideal. Story 72. Yes, I know what I like in bed and in life. I would be able to provide for my needs and have a very affectionate relationship to boot with an attractive partner. Story 73. No, because that would not help me learn or grow. Dating my exact replica would get boring very quickly. Story 74. No. I am a 38-year-old person with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder who tries to juggle 12 different things in life at the same time while doing a poor job at all of them. I am forgetful and lose track of everything, including time, constantly. I obsess over random things and can quickly drop them as if they are nothing. This happens frequently, so on the surface, I appear quite smart, but my knowledge is shallow. I know a little bit about everything but have zero depth in most subjects. I am hard to live with because of all the unusual behaviors I have, and I also have a child. I am not very competitive in the dating market. I am 6 feet 3 inches tall and can be a little funny at times, but that is all I have. Story 75. Yes, because I want to learn more about myself in a controlled environment, especially if I can date myself by assuming an avatar of the opposite sex. Story 76. No, sometimes I am too much, and I totally recognize that about myself. I really do sometimes overdo it. Story 77. Joke answer. If I say yes, it means I am a narcissist. If I say no, it means I hate myself. Actual answer. I think I would date myself. I feel I follow the principles I hold and would like a partner who does the same. Story 78. Before, no. Now, maybe. I am healing myself and working through many mental health issues. I am slightly more equipped for that now, but not perfect. Story 79. People already tell me to go away. In my opinion, it is always better to take someone out to dinner first. Story 80. Absolutely, it is my dream to find someone with the same mentality as me, the same values, objectives, and commitment. Story 81. To quote Groucho Marx, why would I want to be part of any club that would have someone like me as a member? Story 82. I have met people with my personality type, and it is never a very good fit. I need someone more extroverted and laid back to compliment and challenge me. Story 83. No, I am straight and I would just argue with myself all the time. Granted, I can be pretty sweet and know just what I like, but that would not make up for the drawbacks in my humble opinion. Story 84. No, because I am not my own type. However, that does not mean I do not like myself or think I am a good partner. Story 85. Honestly, I kind of already do. I am perpetually single, so I spend a lot of my time with just myself. I take myself out to dinners and movies, travel by myself, and do other things alone too. I have pretty good taste if I do say so. Story 86. Once I resolve my trauma, yes. There have been moments when I have not been anxiously neurotic, and everything just seems to flow. One day at a time. Story 87. By the gods, I cannot see why my wife likes the way I look. Nothing about tall, calm, relatively strong men with low voices appeals to me. If I were a tomboyish woman with endless energy like her, I would definitely date myself. Story 88. I am in a friends with benefits relationship with myself already. But dating? No. I have too many issues. The most I can offer is self-pleasure. Story 89. No. Because I do not date. It is my saving grace that I do not try to deceive others into thinking I am worth their time. Story 90. The question is if I am physically attractive. If not, I would just be friends. I just did a gender swap artificial intelligence task, and yes, I would. Story 91. No, I want to be with someone smarter than me, more fun, more optimistic, and more creative to balance me out. Story 92. I would know how to tame the fires and bring peace to the parts of me that need it. I would empower my partner self to strengthen the areas I couldn't. It would be awesome. I'd compliment myself as my partner self. Story 93. Definitely not. I have trust issues, so if I ended up with someone with the same issues, it would be kind of toxic. Story 94. The female version of myself, absolutely I would. We would know each other's best interests at heart and love each other immensely. Story 95. Obviously, you will only get a positive response from homosexual people. As a straight person, I would date myself only to immediately stop calling it a date because it is basically my identical twin. Gross. However, I would gladly accept my twin into my life. Story 96. I would not date myself for the same reasons I am not putting myself out in the dating market right now. I am a cluster B personality disorder with a polysubstance problem. I get along with people fine, but I feel like a time bomb. I do not want to hurt people like my addicted ex hurt me, so I need to let this phase pass and strengthen my body and mind before I let people in. Story 97. Yes, if there were another version of me, I have learned to like myself. I do enough self-debating that we would have endless conversations. I am pretty emotional and do not know how to take care of my demons on my own. So yes, but the bad times would be difficult. Thanks, trauma. Story 98. I am not attracted to men, and I think I am attracted to women who are in some ways the opposite of me. It is nice to have a calm person next to my chaos. Story 99. Yeah, because I dated myself for a few years after my abusive relationship to relearn myself again. Even though I am with an amazing guy now, I still like to take time for myself. I'm not so bad. Story 100. Honestly, no. I would friend zone myself. I am not attractive, but I am smart. I love watching sports, playing sports, and drinking beer while watching or playing sports. I enjoy a good dive bar. I am genuine, caring, and thoughtful. And I think I am generally pretty enjoyable to be around. But again, not attractive. Story 101. Yes, the more clones of me, the merrier. We would all either agree on everything or understand why we believe what we believe. We would all know each other's needs. If we were in different walks of life, that is, the same person at different ages, we would be able to expedite each other's struggles and fix them faster. We would never question each other's loyalty. We could take each other's place in certain situations if we all looked the same as well. Music taste would be the same. Movie taste would be the same. Multiplayer video games would be awesome. No one would protect us more fiercely than we would protect each other. Story 102. What you think of yourself is irrelevant here. When looking for a partner, does anyone look for someone who is exactly like them, or rather someone whose characteristics complement them? Story 103. Yes, I put 110% into relationships. I am caring, generous, loving, kind, and truly fun to be around. Story 104. No, I would get bored. I like being with my complete opposite. It has helped me grow in ways I never knew I could. Story 105. Definitely, I enjoy myself more than I used to, though I would prefer someone different. My communication style is what causes my current relationship issue. I need the opposite, someone to share and work on problems with rather than being quiet. Story 106. I think I would. I am referring to intellect and personality, not physical traits because I am not attractive. I do like the person I have become, and I was lucky to find someone very similar to me. Story 107. Yes, I think so. If I were truly in love with myself, I would treat myself wonderfully, probably better than I deserve. Story 108. Probably. I have always wished I had a twin or a personality identical to mine so we could get along. I do not like most people, especially girls, but I would love another version of myself to talk to. Story 109. No, I am unattractive, not a monster, but unattractive enough to know that I will not be able to find someone to love whom I like. Story 110. No, he is too much of a picky eater. He will never be happy even if I take him to Michelin star restaurants. Story 111. I think so. I am kind of a weirdo, but I am nice and funny, even if I can be a drama queen sometimes. Story 112. Absolutely. My other self will share my love language, commitment level, values, aspirations, and thought process, which would be ideal. The only way I would love myself is if it is not technically me. While I cannot excuse certain actions or things I do, I am completely fine with overlooking that in someone else, especially if it is someone I love. Story 113. No. Nor would I date someone who has the same personality as me. I have a big personality, big energy, and big enthusiasm, so I need a partner who can balance that instead of amplify it. Story 114. Absolutely. Communication would be immaculate. Emotional intelligence would be ever present. The way I think about other people's needs extends endlessly. I am not saying this with a built ego. I have humility and humbleness. With that said, I am knowledgeable of my worth and capabilities. Took me a long time and a lot of growth to get to where I am today. I can proudly boast about my achievements as a person, but I know that I am still learning until I, too, return to the ground. Yes, I would date myself. Story 115. I have to say no. My great personality does not do much when my hair is not long enough to pull and my body is in poor condition due to chronic pain and illness. Story 116. Not unless I have a job and hobbies which are unaffordable right now, or at least take more time outside the house for myself. That being said, if those are my intentions that I am working towards, then easily yes. Ambition or motivation to do better and actually accomplishing it is necessary. I am a great person and only try to be better, so yes, I would date me, just preferably when I am not in a difficult situation. Story 117. Absolutely not. I say that not to self-deprecate, but because I am a difficult woman who can barely take care of herself, is clingy, and has emotional problems. This is why I do not date. It would not be fair to drag anyone else down. Story 118. But then I could not date my boyfriend. He has been such an amazing influence on me. He encourages me to see the best in people and can calm me down when I am crying faster than anyone I know. Story 119. Yes, I would date myself and make a lifelong commitment. I would even put a ring on it. I am a great catch. Story 120. It depends on why I am dating. Would I date myself casually? No, I become difficult when it is inconsistent and the boundaries are unclear. Would I date myself in a more connected way? Absolutely yes, I give unconditional love. Story 121. I would love to be best friends with myself. Same interests, same idea of fun, same unique personality and sense of humor. I would feel comfortable being myself around them, so there would be a lot of belly laughs. I would love to have someone to wear funny outfits with and go out in public as an adult. Story 122. So I'm not gay, but a female version of me? Absolutely. I'm so much fun. Super affectionate, smart, funny, love to try new things, a decent cook, adventurous in bed. I would want to date me, for sure. Story 123. Not at this moment, no. I am not happy with where I am in several aspects of life, some of which I am struggling to control. I want to be with someone I can be proud of, and until I improve those areas, I find it hard to be proud of myself right now. I am working hard to make small progress whenever I can, but with everything going on, I am not currently in a place where I feel comfortable asking someone to invest time and emotion in me. Story 124. Last year, I would not have thought I would say yes, but honestly, now if I found someone like me, I would love it. Someone honest, considerate, funny, resilient, and direct. I think I have been too hard on myself previously. Story 125. It's interesting. No, because I am a very boring person who never wants to do anything, and that would be annoying. Yes, because I never want to do anything, and another me probably would not bother me much about it. Story 126. I don't know. I talk too much and I drink a lot. If I have to invite myself, I end up being very expensive. Story 127. No, I like having someone different or opposite from me. I become better or learn something about myself along the way. Also, I am heterosexual. So no. Story 128. At this point in my life, no, I would not. I just turned 29 and moved back into my parents' house about a month ago. I was living on my own for 4 years before that, but I would not want to bring a girl to my parents' house to hang out. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.